The revelation of the Lord Jesus Christ. Regardless of what language you say it in, the word revelation means to make known. What does it make known? It makes known the events, the 7 events that consummate the return of the Lord Jesus Christ. In my last videos, we went through 6 of the seals. We learned that the false Messiah appears on earth in the 6th seal, 6th trumpet, and 6th vial. Come with me, let's learn what happens in the 7th seal. That's when Christ returns, by the way. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. I want to read this to you in order that you may be able to better understand the 7th seal. First, I want to read Revelation chapter 12, verses 7 through 9. And it reads, "And there was war in heaven." Lots of commotion, lots of noise of war. "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels." Verse 8, "And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven." Verse 9, "And the great dragon was cast out," that old serpent, the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden, "which is the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." Now, come with me. That happens in the 6th seal, the 6th trumpet, and the 6th vial. Now come with me to Revelation chapter 8, verse 1. What I just read will help you better understand this 7th seal. Revelation chapter 8, verse 1. "And when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour." What's that silence about? Satan has just been cast out of heaven. The war's over. There's no more war in heaven. Satan had just been cast out onto the earth from heaven, and silence takes place. Now, that half hour, we learn in Revelation chapter 9, verses 4 and 5, is a 5-month period, split in half. What is half of 5 months? It's 2.5 months. The appearance, the time of the false Messiah, the Antichrist, has been shortened for the elect's sake to a 5-month period. And he is only going to reign for 2.5 of those months as the false Messiah standing in the holy place calling himself God. Now come back with me. Let me read Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night." He's no longer there to accuse us before God. The war is over, the accuser is cast out, and that's the reason for the silence. Now come with me to Zechariah chapter 14. Old Testament. This is future still. Hasn't happened yet. Christ returns at the 7th seal, 7th trumpet, and 7th vial. The false Messiah appears in the 6th trumpet, 6th seal, and 6th vial. Now come with me. When that 7th seal is open, and that half hour of silence takes place, and Satan gets his little 2.5-month period of deception upon the earth, deceiving people into worshiping him, calling himself God. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1. "Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee." Verse 2. "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken by the false Messiah in deception." This is when the battle of Armageddon and Hamagog take place. "And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and the half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Verse 3. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations. The Lord fights the final battle of Armageddon and Hamongog. We do not. I'm going to read that again, verse 3. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. That's Christ returning. Revelation chapter 19. Verse 4. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof, toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountains shall remove toward the north, and half toward the south. That's a great earthquake, a very great earthquake at the seventh vial. Come with me to the seventh vial in the book of Revelation. Let's go to Revelation chapter 16. This is when Christ returns now. Revelation chapter 16. Sorry, I had this marked off. Lose my bookmarks. Revelation chapter 16, verse 17. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air. That's when everybody walking and living and walking the earth at that time are changed in the twinkle of an eye into their spiritual body, good, bad, sinner, and saint. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air. And there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, It is done. It is complete. The seven dispensations of time have completed themselves. Verse 18. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as not was since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. That's when his feet touched the Mount of Olives, and it splits, one half toward the north, one half toward the south, and splits a path right to the east gate. Verse 19. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon, mystery Babylon, came into remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. It's coming. Verse 28. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. That's nations, small nations and large nations. Verse 21, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. That's when God's wrath is poured out upon the wicked at Christ's return. No, the book of Revelation is very simple to understand. John was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. That's the 1,000-year reign of Christ on earth. He was shown what takes place just before the Lord's day, on the Lord's day, and thereafter. We learn in the book of Revelation that we are in the fifth trumpet. I'll document that in the next video, the fifth trumpet. There are key words that are in that fifth trumpet that you need to know that will tell you in here, yes, we are indeed in the fifth trumpet. Catch my next video, beloved. It's going to be a dandy.